Just because I don't remember all these old factories burning when we got here, doesn't mean they weren't on fire then, any more than it proves they're actually on fire now. Amid the flurry of glowing ashes raining down like tiny red snowflakes against a pitch-black canvas, the rhythm of sizzling flames has me humming along to a bluesy little tune that may be an original. Scanning the parking lot for any trace of Hank and my Cadillac, I try to come up with some lyrics, but the echo of Warren's insufferable cherry pie continues to haunt me from the strip club, and I'm struggling to find an edgy word that rhymes with Holocaust. Dragging my leather sandals along the dusty gravel, I kick a 40 of St. Ides out of the way, then watch as a black snake wiggles its way free from the mouth of the bottle like shedding skin before slithering off into the velvet fog. After taking a hit off the macho mug I just stole from Cheeks, I set it down on the gravel and pull my hair back to light a cigarette. What the hell is he doing? I ask no one, instinctively taking out the phone from my pocket. When I see that it's after midnight and I have 42 missed calls, I power off the phone and slide it back with a sloppy, petrified look. Exhaling a drag into the crisp autumn air, I squint past a clan of unseasonably dressed junkies gathered around a flaming steel drum. The crackling sound of the flames reminds me of earlier this morning at the Acapulco Lounge. It must have been the way that ice popped when that first splash of Jack was poured, or maybe it was the way that hot reporter from the Riverfront Times caught herself smiling as she showed Dickie her video from Cooper's. But when I look back now, somehow I always knew we'd end up here. I blink hard once, twice, when from out of the ancient plumes of hypnotic smoke and ash, a shadowy figure in a tattered leather jacket emerges. Shifting through the darkness of the parking lot, the red glow of fire slashed the face of a woman standing before me without lifting her soot-red hoodie. She stood, tapping an unlit cigarette against the web of her bony hand, and asked me for a light in an unplaceable accent that sounded vaguely familiar. While part of me is praying she never raises her eyes to meet mine, just accepts the light and disappears. There's another part of me that's had a few drinks and is intrigued by that foreign tongue that could just as easily be Greek as Cajun. She asked me for a couple of bucks like we were dating and she'll give me back tomorrow, which leaves me with the unexplored anxiety that I'm in the presence of something I must not set eyes upon. Palms up, I hold out both hands apologetically and tell her, "Sorry lady, I just blew all my cash on cocaine and strippers." With no eye contact for me to break, she slowly draws back the dark red hoodie with both hands like a sorceress, exposing deeply sunken meth cheeks on an ashy gray complexion. A set of foggy eyeballs peer upward to meet mine, and suddenly I'm gazing into the deadly eye of a storm. Somewhere between petrified and enchanted, I stand there as she sizes me up, sucking me deeper into her emerald abyss. Though I'm cursing Hank for taking so long with the Caddy, I cannot say that once the pale light of the waning moon catches her profile, an alluring, almost angelic glow does not rest on her. "Boy," she says without fear, "the least you can do is quit bullshitting me." Nodding, I pull a white Bic lighter from the pocket of my jeans and ask, "About which part, the strippers or the blow?" Reaching out to light her cigarette, I realize my hand is trembling. She takes a long drag, and as I watch a stream of green smoke seep from her pale blue lips, she answers both. She asks me, not from a place of curiosity, but from a golden throne of judgment, what a cute white boy like me is doing out here in the middle of the night, and I'm detecting a hint of an accusation somewhere in her tone. I let a dull laugh drift off into an awkward pause, but she does not turn to walk away any more than she accepts my silence as an answer. Forced to break the stalemate, I panic, and suddenly I find myself struggling to defend myself and the choices we, as a band, have made. Admitting that though this is not the first time our drummer has forced us to have an early night over a misunderstanding about a lap dance, we don't mean any harm, and for some reason, I need her to believe me. A cascade of sweat begins to beat on my forehead, and my fist clenches tightly when she seems to know we're the band from that video going around. It's then I realize I've already given her too much of what she's always wanted. I take an aggressive pull from my macho mug, hoping a draft beer buzz will dampen some of these flaming visuals, but sadly, more booze only seems to add fuel to the inferno. I realize this is no ordinary hallucination, as anxiety turns to a blood-thickening dread after what I first mistook for a loose lock of her coarse hair blowing in the wind turns out to be a scaly piece of flesh scabbing from her decaying face. Desperate for a way out of this, I'm stammering something about Hank pulling up with a caddy any minute now. Defiantly shifting her weight from one hip to another, the phantom gypsy shoots me a sideways glance and says, like she's heard it all before. Her voice hardens to a whisper. Boy, you listen to me. She starts to speak in riddles. Hidden deep within each one reveals a dire warning cloaked behind colorfully vague allegories spoken in that voodoo tongue that feels familiar in the same way that she feels familiar. Narrowing her eyes, she shifts her gaze right, then left, and inhales a deep breath before leaning in close to whisper, You got that eye, boy, but now you gotta learn to see before that dragon eats you up. I feel myself retreating, sweat pouring down my brow. I'm searching desperately for a lost Xanax and the courage to say something clever like, Yeah, well, it's a Cadillac, so you know how drummers are, right? When suddenly a pair of high beams and the muffled sound of Pantera causes me to snap my head over my shoulder. Breathing a sigh of relief, I manage to fish the Tic Tac case from my pocket carrying a single white Percocet and a thin wad of singles. I reach out to hand her the cash, imploring her not to spend it all on food, but when I turn around, the phantom gypsy has vanished into the royal haze. The Yokohama tires on the lack kick up a massive dirt cloud before skidding to a stop right before my feet. I cover the top of my macho mug with my left hand and let the storm of malignant air blow past. As the dust settles, I pocket the wad of cash and chase the pill down with a fountain of draft beer. The feeling of the oval tablet tumbling down my throat is enough to pacify the roaring flames down to a manageable smolder. With all 8 cylinders idling before me, I flick away my cigarette before curiously squinting at a speck of mud on the silver hood ornament. I pause, take the hem of my denim button down and wipe it clean before stepping around to the passenger side to pull on the handle. It's locked. The tinted window rolls down with a snore as Hank leans over my elbow rest from the driver's seat and laughs, You need a ride, bitch.